after which H&A Auctions sold my uncle's old car for £840,000.
I'm going to go for a Nissan Stagea.
Wow. Because you're now on a Car Throttle podcast, your career has pretty much plummeted. Hello and welcome back to the Car Throttle podcast, where Ethan, Jack and I read out your emails, act as your automotive agony uncles, and discuss unpopular opinions. This week, we've got a special guest, Mr. Rory Reid, formerly of Top Gear and now the main host of Auto Trader, as well as presenting on Fully Charged and some other TV work. How you doing?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Thanks for having me.
Feeling good?
I am actually. I've had a long day filming on 2 motorbikes, so my crotch is on fire right now.
Don't worry, Jack will sort you out after the show. Rory, we're going to ask you some questions soon in a segment called Roast My Reid. But before we do any of that, what's everyone been up to this week? Rory, let's get started with you.
A lot of filming, man. Like you said, I'm the main host over at Auto Trader now, so we're just pumping out videos left, right, and center. This week, I had 2 motorbikes. We're doing like my first proper motorbike reviews. So I've got the BMW S1000RR M Sport, which is like 205 horsepower liter bike, and the Yamaha R1, again, 197 horsepower. And terrifying is like the only word that I can use to describe it.
Jack, you've switched off, haven't you? Any talk of motorbikes? You're like, nah,
I heard bike and then just nothing.
Tell
me about those bikes, Rory. How awesome are they? Which one's your favourite out of those 2?
Do you know what? The BMW S1000RR is like, it's like a super bike, but imagine if like a luxury car maker said, we're going to make a super bike. That's what they've done with this. So it's super light. It's got carbon wheels. So like it's really, really chuckable. Center of gravity is really low. Loads of power. Like I said, over 200 horsepower in something that weighs like 200 kilograms or something ridiculous.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's the same kind of power to weight ratio as like hypercars.
Yeah.
And you can't pin the throttle. You can't open it up all the way.
Because you don't have the balls, is that?
No, I said you can't.
There we go, pointing the finger. I'm actually going to be getting a Honda CBR 650R on the 9th of July. I'm very excited for that. I've been bombing around on a CBR 500R, which is
a little baby bike, isn't it?
A little baby bike, yeah. I can actually touch the floor on that one. CBR, I'm on my tippy toes. Ethan, what was this hand gesture about?
I was just trying to process all this.
Yeah.
I'm like Jack here.
It's like a car, but half of it and faster and more deadly.
And you ride it with your groin.
Yeah. Can I also point out, Rory, your voice is just, it's made for this, isn't it? It's so buttery smooth. I'm sitting here, I'm like, tinkle in my tinkle.
He can't stand up now.
No, I know. Well, no, I can, because it's only ever been a nub. Anyway, we're going to move on. Ethan, what have you been up to?
I'm in the process of moving house. So that is the most exciting thing happening in my life.
What do you mean the process of? Have you bought a van?
I'm packing up and...
Are you?
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to need you to get me a van so I can move house. Because I don't want to have to go to like...
Rory, we're going to need you to get Ethan a van.
I can get you several motorbikes. We can do
Tie
lots
them up.
of trips.
Yeah. We can strap them together.
Yeah. Have you got a lot of stuff to move?
Fair amount, yeah. And a baby and a cat and...
So it's not going to be Phil either, is it, really?
No. Phil hasn't moved for like 2 months.
It's going to be 2 or 3 van loads.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why don't... I know, I've got the perfect idea here. I know someone who's very well-versed with lorries.
What a good idea.
Jack, I don't know if you know about this, Rory. Can I mention it one more time?
Well, you always do.
I mention it in every single podcast. Tail end of last year, you might have seen a little story about a Royal Mail lorry pushing a car sideways down the A40.
Yes, of course, yes.
It was Jack.
Hello.
Hello, it was me. So maybe Jack can get you a Royal Mail lorry because they still owe you a favour.
I got a guy.
That would do the job.
That would do the job. How is life in boxes?
It's not great, but I'm looking forward to getting a bigger place.
Yeah, and you've got a garage as well.
I would, which I'm going to convert into a cinema room.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not going to have like a woodworking shop?
I might leave a bit of space for that.
Yeah.
But
how does this sit with you when you got like a really, really big car channel and he's got a garage and he goes, I'm going to turn it into a cinema room.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe he's just going to have like reruns of like Gone in 60 Seconds and stuff like that. Is that?
Jewel.
Yes. He must have some sort of supercharged diesel.
There's a lot of glaring eyes on me at the moment. I feel like none of you are happy with me.
There's a lot of death stares going on. So you're not going to use your garage as a garage,
No.
which is actually very disappointing.
Apologies.
Yeah. When do you move in?
A couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. So you actually need a van.
I do.
Quick,
yeah.
sharp.
I really need you to call Ford for me to get a
Oh,
transit.
okay. Yeah. Ford's always hooked us up when it comes to vans. So,
So if we could, can we stop this and you can go and make a call?
yeah. Rory, we're done here. Thank you very much for joining. Ford, I'm going to give you a call soon. Thank you very much in advance. Jack, how about you?
Someone messaged me on Instagram about a £200 E36 compact.
Hello.
What part of that do you not like?
Compact.
Well, okay, yeah, fair.
And me.
Rather it was you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want all the power.
You want all the BMWs. So I might go look that out. Look that up. It's quite exciting.
Look that out. That's a clunky sentence.
Yeah, sorry about that. I might go look at that. I'm quite excited actually.
Careful how you say that.
Yeah. Is it what 1.6, 1.8?
1.9.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
okay.
Is it
318? Yeah,
318,
1.9. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with it?
Yet to be seen. Maybe some sort of drift slag.
Drift, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, do it.
God,
It'll be
you
fun.
guys.
Communal drift car. We could all have a go.
Yeah,
Could we?
Yeah.
we could.
Especially you, Ethan.
Go on, Ethan. You've done a little bit of drifting
What's
in your
the
time.
point?
On purpose? Or
On ice, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and also around Kerber as well.
Did I?
Yeah, didn't I take you in something and you span it a few times? You kind of did half drifts. Yeah.
MX-5. Yeah.
Was it my MX-5?
No, it was that one we bought in the challenge video.
Bloody hell! Yeah, I was going to
But
say.
I did drift it. I did, Rory. I did.
I promise, Daddy, I did drift it.
when you say you drifted it, was it like almost a crash? Was it an accident that didn't end up in contact?
Yeah, I mean, had there been some sort of hedge there,
Yeah.
I would have been in it.
There
It was just grass.
Did it end on the track?
Yeah. No.
You'll have to keep us posted on that.
Will do.
I want to see that. Anyway, I wasn't really that lucky because I bought a sport car. Remember that? We did it for a challenge video.
A street car.
Street car, sport car, street car. Yeah, Ford street car, and we discovered a little bit of rust. When I say a little bit of rust, it's like I've never seen that much rust in my life. It made me so happy. It's
Is this what you captioned as like natural weight reduction?
yes on Twitter.
Because it basically rusted to oblivion.
Yeah, it's dangerous, which means I really love it. So we're now trying to decide what we do with that poor shitbox, whether we strip it for parts and try and make more money, or if I hit someone up like a metal fabricator and maybe he or she will fabricate all the metal and fix it while the three of us, I haven't told you about this, while the three of us like clean the workshop or do some manual labor or something like that. Or, I mean, you could maybe do some sexual favors.
None of this benefits me.
Sexual favors.
Okay.
Just
Right.
pimping us
now you're
out.
in. I am pimping you out. So I need to decide. However, on the flip side, bought a Peugeot 205 for £100. Shout out to Louis for messaging me and you as well.
1.9, a good one.
1.6.
That's a no. Okay.
And it's the manual. No, it's the automatic.
So you got the worst possible Peugeot 205.
But it was £100.
Okay, yeah, that explains it then.
And my Peugeot 205 is better than your Peugeot 205.
This is true. I don't have a Peugeot.
Exactly.
I did have a Peugeot
Did
205. When I say I had, it wasn't me, and I didn't have it. But I did this channel called Fast, Furious, and Funny, where we used to drop stuff off cranes.
That was with Colin First, wasn't it?
It was with Colin Firth, yeah. It's not where I met him. I met him on a TV show that we did called Gadget Geeks.
Oh, TV. Oh, look at me. You've never made it to TV,
Just
have you?
dropping that, yeah. Just dropping that in there. And they used to like buy cars, old chip boxes, and drop them off cranes for like no reason. And one of them was a Peugeot 205 1.6.
Yeah.
And
did
what
it
happened
went well?
was when it hit the floor, it collapsed on itself like a black hole had sucked itself in, and it was flat as this table, flat as a pancake. The least safe cars on the planet.
But the structural rigidity was still there.
No, there was no structure. The structure was pancake.
But had there been occupants, they'd have been fine.
They would have been fine, but shaped like pancakes.
So it would have worked out well.
If you like pancakes.
Okay. So the fact that me, Jack, and my dog are driving home in this 205 tonight in the dark
For 2 hours.
for 2 hours, that's cool.
R.I.P.
I'm going to get the train.
I'm going to ride my dog home. How about that?
Keep you safer.
Right, let's move it on. Rory, you obviously used to work for Top Gear, so I want to hear some crazy stories. There's probably been something that happened that you thought, what just happened, and some stories that we don't know about. So come on, out with it.
Do you know what? When you work for Top Gear, they make you sign a contract, and the contract says you can't talk about Top Gear. It's like Fight Club. Like you can't really. Ben Collins, though, he decided to, you know, the hell with it.
Yeah.
But do you know, one of the things that stands out for me, and I always say this to people who ask this question, is when we went to Kazakhstan. This was our first big...
The taxis one, was it?
Yes.
Someone had a taxi.
Yeah, I had the taxi.
Ooh.
And Matt was in a Mercedes E-Class German taxi. And Chris had a Volvo, I think it was an S70, V70. But that was also a taxi, we found out. But anyway, we went to Kazakhstan. And the maddest thing about Kazakhstan is we were in the countryside area. It's mostly countryside. And the people there have never seen black people before.
Really?
Like,
Do they not have TV?
On TV, yes. But when a real one like starts driving around in a London taxi, it's like a man has come down from the moon on a hover bike. It's outrageous. So I could barely get anything done because people were literally running into the road, taking pictures of me.
That's amazing.
People, I'd drive past people and they would do like handbrake turns and chase me down. So I could barely get anything done. Just like swarms of people kept coming up to me.
So they thought of you as like a demigod.
Basically, yeah. And they were all really nice, like, to be fair, but they would all, it was like, oh, I can't touch you because of social distancing. But they'd all like stroke me and like take pictures with me. It was really weird. But then we made it to our ultimate destination, which was the Baikonur space station. And I was always a really big fan of like space when I was a kid. I wanted to be an astronaut. And Baikonur Space Station is the place where all of the iconic moments in space history began. First dog in space, first cat in space, first insect in space, first man in space. And then we went there and we saw all of these historic like launch pads where all these missions began. And we had, for some reason, decided to send up a little toy Stig into a rocket. And we were standing there and like watching this rocket launch. And then I noticed, it was one of the most like touching moments of my life, but then I noticed the cameramen were facing me, Matt and Chris. And then behind them, this amazing moment was happening. You felt this explosion of this rocket taking off. And all I wanted to do was say, stop filming us, turn around and look at that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Obviously they couldn't. They were feeling the blast of the rocket hit them and they're shaking. And I'm like, you're missing the most amazing thing ever. And the most surreal thing of all, when that rocket took off, it exploded.
Oh. So it didn't go to plan?
No, it blew up.
Oh.
Like, it went up into the clouds and then we got some news about 20 minutes later. Yeah, it's exploded.
Oh no. So mission failed.
But not through the magic of TV, we made it work. But yeah, but thank God, no humans were on that flight. It was an unmanned flight.
Yeah, but how big was it? Was it?
It's a proper rocket,
an actual rocket?
a full-on rocket.
Oh, I thought you meant like a little rocket.
No, like a full-on rocket that astronauts and stuff go up in.
How much does that cost for that just to explode?
We didn't blow it up.
But I mean, was it a Top Gear production to actually send that up, or did the Kazakh people
They were going up anyway, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
But
And then you put the little stick in there.
Yeah, we tagged along. But yeah, this
It's just like getting a ride. Oh, you going that way?
yeah.
I'll hop in. Yeah, by the way, this one might not make it. That's fine. Yeah, we'll just tag along anyway. Wow, that's a really surreal moment. I've never seen a rocket launch. I don't really care to either.
Oh, wow.
Not my thing.
I think you're dead inside.
Oh, okay.
What moves you, Alex? What moves you? What do you
moves
like?
me?
What do you like to watch?
Don't ask.
What do I like to watch? I don't know. Can I bring that up?
Your search history.
Yeah, my search history. Oh, that's terrible. What do I like to watch?
Lunch.
Homes Under the Hammer.
Homes Under the Hammer with Dion Dublin.
Yeah.
I like Mirrors. I like to watch.
Is he like this all the time?
Yeah.
All the time. All the time.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we've got a car story, and Ethan, you're going to tell us this car story. It says here, Rory has to do a jingle for car stories.
It actually doesn't.
It's I put it in white ink so you can see it. I mean, Rory, if you want to man up and do a little jingle, that's cool. If not, then yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, okay.
Hello. Here we go.
This is Car Stories. Ding-a-ding-ding-ding.
We're gonna have to cut that.
No,
Cut.
that is
cut.
excellent.
Shut up.
That is
It was-
incredible.
It was better than your jingle.
He's made you look a mug.
Don't you dare say that. You've actually got quite a good voice.
Yeah, that was.
I got a set of pipes, mate. It's like a
Yeah.
hidden talent. When everything else in my life fails, I'll fall back on this.
I would do that tomorrow. Because you're now on a Car Throttle podcast. Your career has pretty much plummeted. and we're not even paying you to be here. So,
What? Oh, I'm not getting paid.
Did you not get the memo
Ah.
about the
Okay.
telling Rory about the lack of payment?
All right, I'm out.
Well, with that average jingle, Ethan, tell us this cast of it.
This one is submitted by Pete,
Shut up. Everyone shut up.
and it's titled Prawn Gate.
Oh.
Dear Car Throttle, seeing your Car Stories video recently made me think you guys would love my disaster story. It was the summer of 2018 and a bloody hot one. I'm being sent to Dubai for a month, so the night before I leave, I think, right, I'll empty my freezer and put it in my dad's freezer.
So is he taking his freezer and putting it in his dad's freezer?
I imagine,
Has his dad got a massive freezer?
I think probably the contents.
Oh,
of
the
his-
content. Yeah, that would make more sense.
About 2 weeks in, I asked Dad if he wouldn't mind taking my car out for a bit, so I don't come back to a flat battery. A day or so later, I get a message from him saying, the car is fine, but there's a funny smell. I thought it might be the aircon, so thought nothing of it. Another 2 weeks later, I returned from the trip having missed out on a mega hot month in the UK, and am keen to get out to enjoy the good weather with the roof down in my beloved BMW Z4. I walk up to the car, go to put my bag in the boot, and nearly die.
Oh.
It was the single most horrific smell I've ever come across. Having retreated to the house for marigolds and with my shirt pulled up over my face, I go hunting in the boot to discover that my late night food run to Dad's house had resulted in a bag of prawns flying out and tucking themselves nicely into the furthest nook of the boot. The bag had split and juice had oozed rancid prawn extract.
Prawn extract.
It's like vanilla extract into the boot lining. But it wasn't until I had binned that and got into the car that I realised the full extent of the damage. This smell had permeated every single part of fabric throughout the whole car. Roof lining, the fabric on the back of the seats, the floor mats. It even smelled in the glove box.
Wow.
In the glove box?
Why was he spinning the glove?
From the boot. Feeling pretty distraught, I contacted a professional odour removal company who advised that nothing can be done. Contact your insurance to write off the car.
Oh, he's good at his job then, isn't he?
It won't work anymore. So I tried everything to get rid of the smell, including ground coffee, litres of carpet pet odour removal spray, jet wash the carpets, and so on. It was clear this wasn't working, so I stepped it up a gear with chlorine odour spray, and after having spent around £300, I got the problem to a tolerable place, but it was never the same again. And to this day, I've never eaten a prawn again. Anyway, thanks for listening and keep up the great work. Pete.
I can sympathise with that.
Yeah.
I did a similar thing. I had a Mercedes GLE, and we went on holiday. We went to the Dominican Republic.
Sorry, when you say I had, was this a long termer or did you actually
No, it
pay
was
for
my
it?
own.
With your own money?
Yeah,
Why are
my
you
own.
spending money on cars?
I needed, because you can't. I've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
And a wife. So you can't get a Ferrari and drive them all around. What we want to do, strap them to the ceiling, the boot. Doesn't work. You need a permanent car of your own to get around in. Otherwise,
Yeah, and then you hit up a PR company and say, do you know who I am? I'm going to need a car for a year. You're missing a trick.
I did that
I'm telling
as well, though. To be fair. Did that as well, but it was that I did it with sports cars for myself. But anyway, I had a GLE, and I left to go on holiday, and I left a packet of chicken Caesar salad in the boot by mistake. Went on holiday for 2 weeks, came back, and it was the same thing. The car smelled of death.
Oh, jeez.
And I tried everything that he tried. The only thing that worked is a little device called I think it's called an
Called fire.
I think it's called an ionizer or something.
Yeah.
You plug it into the cigarette lighter, and it spews out ions that reverse the polarity of the atoms in the car or something.
Science.
And and it
Science
gets
with Rory Reid.
it gets rid of the smell. But the only thing is, when you turn the car off, the smell comes back.
Oh.
So I had to figure out a way of like keeping the thing on like for like 24 hours to see if it could maintain this reverse polarization of the stench. But it never worked. It never worked. It was never, like he said, it was never the same again. It was okay when you were in it, but as soon as you turn the car off, it would come back.
Do you still have the car?
No, I burned it.
Quick question. What's the worst thing that any of you have ever smelt? Can you say something?
Do you remember when we went on the snow tour?
Yeah.
And this was in Sweden a few years ago.
Oh, I know
and
what
we
you're gonna
did
say.
that. You may have seen it in other YouTube videos. That like tinned fish, which has been like fermenting for a couple of years. We tried a bit of that, and I can't. It hurts my body thinking about that smell and that taste. Because
we tried it, and we both. I think we both vomited in the snow.
Jörn Olsen made us do it, didn't he?
Jörn Olsen. Yeah. He
that
did.
was a horror show.
Yeah, it's like the worst thing I've ever had in my mouth.
See the guy with the cool roof boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely the worst thing I've had in my mouth, and I've eaten a lot of weird shit. Why are you looking at me like that, Rory? We said it was one night. Right?
Give me 5 minutes, I'll show you something weird.
Jack, what about you? You probably smelled some rancid stuff in your time.
Ethan's pretty good at being smelly sometimes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I'm going to go with Ethan here as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Right, that's enough of bad smells and cars being written off.
Prawn
Right.
gate.
And also, this guy spending £300 to try and get rid of the smell. Like, cars I buy aren't even worth £300, so they would be a write-off. There's no way I'm spending a car's value on trying to get it smell good.
Here's a quick, all the cars that you lot buy, do they all stink? Because they're all shit. Like, normally.
Whoa.
The swampy ones do.
Yeah, the swamp dogs. Yeah. They're not shit, Roy. They got character, all right?
Okay.
They've got stories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're all about the history. We're not like surface level like you.
Oh, look, Auto Trader. Oh, it's a new car. Or fully charged. Oh, it's electric.
You're keeping it real
Yeah, exactly.
with old shit boxes.
Yeah,
Character.
I am. Yeah, exactly. It's my thing, all right? Leave me to it. Right, we're now going to move on to a section I like to call Roast My Reid. Reid.
Was that his attempt at a jingle?
No, that's just like the intro. The jingle hasn't started yet.
Oh, right. Okay.
With the reverb effect on it.
Yeah, I know, yeah. That was actually me doing it myself. There's no reverb effect there.
What?
Yeah, look, everyone watching on YouTube will see that I did it. Reid.
Sick.
Sick.
Okay, roast me.
I'm not going to roast
Are you mad at me, Alex? Are you mad at me? Because
Well, there's something I want to bring up. All right? There is something I want to bring up.
I just sensed there was something. I don't know.
There's a little bit of hatred, but we're going to move on.
Now you mention it, Rory. Yes, I hate you.
Well, I had this like really good big plan, and it's going to be funny, and I was going to have one over you, but now because of COVID, I can't even touch you. So when you got your job,
I know what this is.
yeah, when you got your job at Top Gear,
Oh, look, I'm a TV presenter on Top Gear.
no one cares. You came in and you did an interview with us because you still wanted more promo. So we were like, all right, we'll give you a bit more airtime. We're going to make you. We did an awkward interview, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then we had an arm wrestle, and I was feeling off on that day. I'd probably like done a massive like arm session the night before, like torn muscles, everything like that. I was like, if you insist, right, we'll do it. And we battled it out for hours. And then I had to go home. So I was like, look, just take it, mate. All right, just take it.
Just took one for the team.
I took one for the team, yeah. You beat me, and then you got up. And do you remember what you said to me?
I said, that's why you'll never be on Top Gear. Something like
It
that.
hurts
Cut
just
deep.
as much.
Deep.
And I wasn't even making eye contact.
Kicked you when you were down.
He did, yeah. My second ball has now gone into my body.
I was joking. I was joking with you, mate.
Yeah, well, some jokes cut deep.
But you've held on to that.
I have, yeah.
So your plan was to have me come here today
Yeah.
and arm wrestle.
No, there was another plan. There's a big American car with a massive boot. We were going to go for a little drive. However, that's no longer viable. So what I wanted to do, Rory, was have an arm wrestle, all right, beat you, because I've been working ever since that day. I've been working nothing but arms. You
Is
see
this
that?
what this is about? This is why you
This
work
is why I'm
out the
tonk.
way you do.
This is why I'm tonk. Yeah.
This explains all
Yeah.
of it.
It's all Rory's fault. I was going to beat you, and then I was going to get up and say, "Ha, that's why you're not on Top Gear anymore." But I can't, because we can't even touch each other. So you've taken that away from me as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
you wouldn't have won. I mean, you got demolished by Rory last
Oh,
time.
you remember? Like,
Yeah,
clearly
yeah.
it was a
Yeah,
clear L for you. I
Yeah,
would say.
yeah.
It wasn't even close, really. But
Are you gonna cry?
I'm not going to cry. I don't cry. Shut your mouth.
I think hammering is the word.
I am sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we'll have an arm wrestle at some point, and then I can have my moment. Although it's going to be meaningless because it's just dragging on for years, isn't it? Shall we ask some questions that some of my Instagram followers want to put your way? And a lot of them are Top Gear related. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's
All
go.
right. Question 1 from Ewan, and he says, "What was it like walking into one of the world's biggest TV franchises, and how was the pressure to deal with?"
It was amazing, first and foremost, because obviously it's like a show that I think like, a lot of us will have watched.
Yeah. Sorry, before we actually go into that, how did you get the job? Because it wasn't, a normal job interview, was it?
No, it was a public audition process. So they decided to hire Chris Evans, and he decided to put it out to the public audition. And basically, they asked anyone to basically send in their audition tape, a 30-second audition tape. And I think 20,000 people sent in a 30-second tape. And they had loads of people at Top Gear, at the BBC, like watching these 30-second tapes. And they whittled it down to 30 people or something like that. They asked them to come in and do a screen test. So you had to go to the track and show you could drive, and then show that you could present in the studio portion as well. And I remember walking into the little trailer they have, and you could see on the walls 1,000 penises and vaginas that the previous hosts had drawn.
Really?
So you could feel the ghost of Clarkson, Hammond,
wow.
and May through their penis and vagina
Actual
drawings.
dicks.
It was
Dick dicks.
a big, small, medium, deformed, you name it.
Wow.
There was the most dicks you've ever seen on a whiteboard.
And
you
we've seen a lot of dicks on whiteboards.
So then you walk in, and I met Tom Wookie Ford,
Yeah.
who was working there at the time. He was doing some stuff for the magazine and helping them through the audition process. And I was like, how's it been going today? He's like, yeah, people are doing okay, I guess, but no one's really sending it. So it was like, oh, so you think I should drive fast then, and skid it about a bit? And he's like, nah, just do what you're comfortable with, but just a bit bored of watching people drive around slowly. And I was like, shit the bed. Pressure's on. I thought I would go in and just play it almost safe, but I knew you got to show them that you can actually.
And that song came on in your head. This is my moment.
No, it was.
sorry.
Do you know? No, God's honest truth. I was listening to Eminem, 8 Mile.
Oh,
Dank,
wow.
dank, 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 dank.
Were you there in the car doing the audition with these massive headphones? Like, dang, 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 dang.
It's like football.
His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. For 24 hours before, I was had that on loop. Anyway, jumped in the car. And I thought I basically smashed it, and then did the studio portion, smashed that, and then it's funny. I saw Chris Harris as well.
Oh, really?
He was there on the day,
yeah.
and I thought, shit, it's gonna be me versus Chris Harris for this job. But in the end, they hired us both. And then after the fact, I heard that people had actually crashed the car.
Really?
What's his name? Anstead.
Yeah. He went for it.
He went for it, and
Oh.
he was a Mercedes E63, and he binned it.
And now he's on Wheeler Dealers. And funnily enough, Mr. Mike Brewitt is actually sitting to our left, and he's got his head in his hands. He's trying to hold back the tears of is it joy or joy? Just
It worked. Everything happens for a reason, right?
Everything he does is on the roof.
So yeah, that was a funny moment, and they actually ended up turning me down for the job after. They turned down everyone who applied. They turned down. I think it was down to 5 people. I'm not going to say who the final 5 were, but I saw their tapes afterwards, and everyone was good. And the reason why why they turned everyone down was because they couldn't choose.
oh really?
So after they emailed me and said, you haven't got the job, screw you, I made a rap video about a Rolls Royce.
I remember that.
Oh, you were ready for the floors. My friend, you ain't even ready for the floors. Deep shag pile lambs were so plush, more comfy than your sofas. It's hard to describe this, but I run my toes between the fibers when I drive this. The journalist after me's gonna be quite pissed, but he'll do the same. Tricks of the trade.
So the rap video got you the
Yeah.
job?
Yeah, the reason I did the rap video was because I thought they can't choose. Like, if everyone's really good, they can't separate us.
Yeah.
So let me do something like totally batshit crazy. And I did this rap video about Rolls Royce and sent it in. And the next day, they called me up and said, "Yeah, you got the job."
That's amazing. Because
Based-
that rap video got picked up by loads of outlets. I think we
Yeah.
posted it as well. It was
Yeah, it was
amazing.
It was
really cool.
yeah, and then the only reason I made it was basically to do that.
Yeah.
But no, it was a cool time. So what was the pressure like? It was tough. It was I remember my first few moments of doing live events with them. We did an event in Manchester, and there was a big arena with people, and I had to drive in a Lamborghini Aventador and pull up in the arena floor where Matt LeBlanc was gonna like open the door and announce me to the whole arena. And it took so long because they were like changing camera angles or something. And I got in the car, I was shitting myself because I thought like everyone's gonna like see me and it's gonna be like this is my first moment to be like unveiled in front of everyone. And I started to feel sick. I thought I'm gonna vomit in this Aventador and get out covered in sick.
Oh, what a way
And
to
then-
intro yourself.
And that made me feel even more sick. So then I had to like just have a word with myself and calm myself down. But after that, I never felt nervous in big studio situations again because
Really?
it was all, once you come so close to vomiting on yourself.
That's the turning point.
Yeah, that's the turning point. So everything else was cool. The easiest bits were actually sitting in the car and driving, to be honest, because it's you and a camera in the car, and that's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But the studio stuff, equally, you just forget the audience and you just do your thing, really.
And do you like ever get to a point where you just feel so at ease and you can just be yourself but extra? Does that come out of you? Do you get like a certain confidence from being in a studio environment?
No, because Top Gear is studio stuff is heavily scripted, so you can't you can't really ad lib in the studio too much because everything you can ad lib, but the conversations you have on screen are written in advance. So
Who by?
We have a script editor. They have a script editor, and then you tell them whether you contribute basically. So you say, I don't want to say this, I want to say this, but you all agree in advance what you're going to say when you're in the studio. It's different in the car because you can obviously have a script as well, but you can ad lib. So if you're suddenly feeling something in the car, you can say it and go off on a tangent. But it's just it was a fun show. But I'm quite creative. And they work in a kind of committee. There's a group of people that decides on how a piece of content should look. But I'm a bit of a maverick, I think, in the way that I create content. So I really enjoy just doing stuff by myself.
Yeah.
But,
And you didn't get to do any rap videos for Top Gear, did you?
No, exactly that.
Which is a massive disappointment.
shame.
We've got another question from AW12, and it reads, how did you feel when you found out that you'd been dropped from Top Gear? So kind of a bit of backstory. How did that all come about? Why were some people culled?
The reason why they changed cast members was because Matt LeBlanc decided that I'm not going to speak for Chris Evans. He decided to quit. But then when me, Chris, and Matt had our 4 series, I can't remember. At the end of it, Matt decided that he didn't want to like commute back and forth across the Atlantic anymore because it was just flying, landing, driving, flying back. And when he left, they were looking to hire his replacement. And I believe they had someone in mind, but then that didn't work out for some reason. And he would have been a direct replacement.
Yeah, I just didn't fancy it at the time. I was too busy with other commitments.
So then they decided that the best for the dynamic of the show was to have 2 new people come on board. When you have 2 new people coming on board who can bounce off each other quite well, apparently, then you essentially end up with 4 hosts. And 4 hosts, they told me anyway, was one too many. So yeah, I had to take one for the team, and I was reassigned to do Extra Gear and and Top Gear Electric, which was another project that they were working on at the time. And I stuck around for a few months. I had a contract, but then I decided to terminate the contract, and I actually left because I didn't want to do it anymore. Because I mentioned earlier that I'm quite creative, and I want to like kind of create my ideas and and do the things that make me feel happy. And the things that I was going to be doing on Extra Gear and Top Gear Electric weren't really for me.
Just didn't cut it for you. Yeah.
Nah, so
that's fair enough.
I told them that I'm off, and I joined Auto Trader.
Yeah. And now you're pretty happy.
Massively happy, mate. Yeah, honestly, it's the best. It's the best move, I think, for me, because it's like creatively, I can do literally anything I want, and I think we're creating some good stuff at the moment.
No, you really are. Yeah. And there's been like a massive switch in like content from Auto Trader, and people are now not in a
Actually watching.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to diss like what happened before, but now the content is entertaining and it's stuff that I actually enjoy watching.
I
So
appreciate
yeah, it's
it,
been a massive turning point.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
There's a question from Ethan actually. Ethan's sitting here, and he said, "What do you prefer working on, TV or online?"
I prefer working online. TV's easier, believe it or not, because
right.
you have a team of people who take care of everything. So you got someone that like organizes everything, every aspect of the shoot. Like, so there's people plan where you sleep, where you eat, what time you turn up. They send a car to come and collect you. There's a makeup lady, and everything is like really smooth. And literally you're a voice on a stick. You just turn up and go, and then you leave. I like getting involved with pre-production, the actual filming, the post-production. I'm involved in like choosing the shot sizes, the camera angles. I'll suggest to my cameraman, why don't we shoot it from this angle, or do this? And you can't really do that as much when you work on TV, because there's a team of people whose job it is to decide that stuff. So I'm, again, going back to the creativity thing. I like to not micro-manage or micro-edit everything, but I like to have involvement in everything I do. And you have the freedom to create what you want when it's on YouTube versus on TV. It's the TV production company's thing, and they can get influenced by the channel, and the channel has directors, and it's like, it's not really you at the end of it. You're just a voice on a stick.
Exactly, yeah. So I guess there's quite an obvious answer for the question submitted by Sam, which reads, if Top Gear offered you the job again, would you take it?
I don't think I would.
You wouldn't?
No, I don't think I would, because I've watched a couple of episodes of the show, and I've seen like what it's become, and I'm not slating it at all, but I think it's very much an entertainment show.
Yeah.
And I don't see myself jumping through those hoops to make that kind of show anymore, because I have the freedom to do whatever I want. So the idea of someone telling me, oh, today we're gonna jump in a convertible and spray lube in your face while you drive around the track.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
And I mean, fine, sure, but like, I don't want to do that.
You're like, it's not Saturday night. Why would I be spraying lube in my face?
Yeah, it wouldn't be going in my face.
Where would it
And no
be?
disrespect,
Where?
no disrespect to them for doing that. That's not the kind of show that I think I've been there, I've done that. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to do it again.
So guys, we need to hide the lube.
Okay.
Jack, hide the lube.
We've got so much of it though.
I know. We've got too much. Mike's actually not hiding. Mike, hide the lube.
Mike's guarding it.
And one final question from Dan. Do you prefer cars or motorbikes?
I prefer cars day to day. So for driving around, and actually staying warm and safe, unless it's a Peugeot 205.
Nice.
Cars all day. But bikes, you can't beat a bike for going on a track day. They're stupidly fast.
Yeah.
The only time I've felt a similar sensation to the speed that a bike gives you is in a Ferrari like 812 Superfast. So you got to spend 300 grand to get the same thrill as you can in a 10 grand super sports bike. So for sheer like bang per buck thrills, bikes. But then again, only on a track. But for everything else, cars.
Fair. That's a good question.
What about you?
I would say the same, exactly. I've done a few track days in cars, and I've done one track day on a motorbike, and it was by far the most fun I've ever had on track. It's completely different, because in a car you're all strapped in, and the only thing that you're doing is just moving your feet a little bit and moving your hands, like change gear and steering wheel. On a bike, you have to move your whole body weight to actually get around a corner. It is so much more physical.
But what about that element of one slight knock and something's broken or a limb has gone?
Yeah, I mean, on track, if you come off, you're probably going to be okay because you'll slide, gravel trap, blah, blah, blah. But if you're going to ride like a dick on a public road, and you run out of talent or a car pulls out, then you're
over,
toast.
man.
You really have to.
Yeah.
I suppose
No
on
way you're
track
right.
as well, that fear of coming off and potentially hurting yourself adds to the whole thrill of it.
There's
Kind
so
of
much
does.
concentration.
Yeah.
When you finish a session on the track and you get off and you pull your helmet off, your adrenaline level has been so high because you've just been focused on every inch of like
Not dying.
Of not dying. Yeah. Your eyes are on stalks the whole time, scanning the track, like even subconsciously looking for things that could kill you, like a rabbit running across the track or something.
Yeah.
And it takes so much focus that when you have that like little release of getting off the track and just taking a break, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Yeah, and the really good thing about doing track days as well in general is that it calms you down as a road driver or a road rider, because I don't drive like a dick.
Yeah, you get it out of your
anymore.
system. Yeah,
Yeah,
get it
you
out of your system.
100% get it out of your system. So yeah, more people should be doing track days on bikes, in cars. Save up a little bit. I mean, it's like 250, 300 pounds to do a track day. You'll have so much fun. It's safer, and you'll get all that pent up aggression out of your body as well.
That's true.
So yeah, good advice.
So we've had some car advice submitted by Lee.
Well, no, he hasn't submitted car advice. He's asking.
He's
for
asking for car advice.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
He's asking for
Thank
it.
you for clearing that up. Hi guys, I'm looking for a diesel-powered, cheap and cheerful second car to keep miles off of my V8 Land Rover Discovery that I love. But that's expensive to run and becoming more and more fragile. I've seen a lot of cars that I like, but a few are clocked over 150,000 miles, and this puts me off. That's cute, isn't it?
150,000 miles. It's not even running.
No,
mate.
no. So my question for you is there a cut-off point when it comes to car mileage?
Yes.
And should I consider my own high mileage hero? We're the wrong people to ask.
We are the
this,
wrong people.
yeah.
Rory, what do you reckon?
Can I be
about
objective
mileage?
here? Yes. Yes, there is. Yes. Damn it. There is
There's a cut-off point. You
There
reckon?
is. I reckon it's 105,000. I'm gonna
Why are you plucking this out your ass?
No, it's scientific fact. It's definitely scientific fact. When you go over 105,000, you essentially you've got about under a third of the engine's usable life left. I think.
Where have you got these stats from?
Realistically, yeah, a car will start to do really weird shit after 105,000.
He's run the numbers.
Yeah, I want to know where you ran these numbers. How about if there's...
And I'll tell you what, all you have to do is look at the Car Throttle YouTube channel.
Oh, Jesus. You're using us against
Have
us.
you ever seen a car on that channel that's running smoothly? No, and they're all over six figures.
For street car...
Audi.
Porsche, BMW...
No.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
RX.
RX. Oh, no, that needed a whole engine rebuild.
Yeah, confirmed.
Our highest mileage though is the Audi, and that runs really well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
You
the
can
clutch.
you can get the odd one. You can get the odd. Oh, it needed a clutch, did it?
Oh, it needs a clutch.
No,
and-
it may
and,
need a clutch at some point.
a
I'm
bearing.
sure.
Bearing's on its way
Yeah,
out.
that's actually a bit noisy, isn't it?
What about miles? 450,000 miles.
That's a mobile swamp.
Yeah, no, that's... Rory, shut up. Lee.
Oh no, I've got one. A good one is a London Taxi, a TX2. They will run forever. They won't break.
Is this the one you drove when you were on Top Gear when you were on TV?
On the telly, yeah.
I was on TV. Oh, that's why you're not on Top Gear.
Shut up. We don't want to
jealousy.
hear it, all right? Why? Who invited this guy?
You did to try and beat me.
Shut up. I'm going to completely disagree with you. 150,000 miles is nothing. As long as the car's been maintained, serviced, blah, blah, blah. Lee, I wouldn't worry about mileage. Just go on service history and chat to the... Rory, please.
Carry on.
Please. And chat to the owner. Do you know how long's he or she had it? Blah, blah, blah. Has it done motorway miles or has it been in the city where loads of potholes? Mileage is but a number, all right? You wouldn't believe it, but Rory's 45. Okay. How old are you, actually? We were discussing this today.
40.
Are you 40?
Yeah.
Oh, we are in the presence of, I was going to say greatness, but
Yes, you were.
grandfatherness.
You can run with that. You can run with greatness. I'm not a grandfather. I'm just.
You could be.
You're not far off 40.
How old are you?
Shut up. Why are we bringing me up? We got a special guest here and you're trying to divert the attention to me.
You love chatting about age.
All right. Oh, that's all right. I'm 35, right?
Basically 40. You're closer to 40.
This is a good test actually for you. How old do you think I am?
You are 32.
Oh my God. You do not know how much my dingle is tingling
So
right now.
wherever we go.
Rory, I love you.
Yeah, Alex loves this. I knew you'd like
Oh
that. I
my
did
God,
that for
you have
Do you
just
appreciate
done that
Do
to
you
yourself.
appreciate that?
Are you in your 20s?
28.
Not that far. Four off.
I'm just
You've been around him too long.
that is it.
Yeah, basically everywhere we go. Well, not everywhere. I don't know. It's just a bit of a joke, but I'll ask people, just random people, who do you think's older? And they will always say Jack.
Yeah, I think I'm your dad.
Why are you bringing up the whole dad thing? Is it because I don't have a father?
Jack, that's really
That's real.
insensitive.
I don't
really
care.
hurtful. You don't care that I grew up with no father.
Oh my god.
I turned out all right though, didn't I? Where were we?
Diesels, high milers.
I think Lee doesn't have to worry. We never ever look at the mileage on the car.
Yeah, we never worry. Mainly because it's never our money. If it were our money, we'd probably be a little.
So you don't care if the cars break down, though. I assume he wants something reliable that's not going to need a whole
It'll
new
be fine.
engine.
Yeah, exactly. Lee, it'll be fine. Just move on, mate.
about
All right. Just spend. If you're spending more than £200 on a car, Lee, you've failed. All right. Rory is 100% backing me on that.
Yeah, sure. All right, good.
Sick. There we go. There we go.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah. Good luck, Lee. And now we're going to move it on to a car story. And Rory, you're going to read this one out. And again, it doesn't say do a jingle. And I wouldn't like you to do a jingle. So
You've
just
you've-
read out the.
It's fine. I won't show you up again for the 7th time. No, your Mac scrolls the wrong way.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind. Car story. Unlucky but awesome E-Type story submitted by Rick. Hi guys, my name's Rick. My great uncle Phil, named after your Mazda, used to have an old 1961 E-Type Roadster that he was forever rebuilding throughout my childhood. Unfortunately, due to my uncle's health and age in the early 2000s, he wasn't able to complete the restoration of the car and decided to sell it to someone who could. A guy came to view it and he was asking £5,000 for it. It was a shell completely in pieces and had more rust than all of Alex's cars put together. Wow. Before the restoration, the new owner does some research which uncovers that the official plate on the car, F532FS, was a replacement for the original reg plate of 9VPD. It was then revealed that the car was one of only 7 prototypes that became the very first racing E-Type Jaguars with competition history at Le Mans, Spa, and Goodwood. It was Coombs Racing's second race car and was driven by Graham Hill for testing at Goodwood.
Bloody hell.
Remember, this was the broken down old car I used to sit in and pretend I was a racing driver as a
Oh,
kid
amazing.
when we used to visit the family in London in the 90s. It was sold to Beacon Hill Garage and restored back to its former glory as a racing E-Type, fully compliant with FIA regs. They even recovered the original plate, which had found its way onto a Range Rover in Scotland.
Oh, of course it did.
It therefore returned to racing in vintage races until it was sold again by H&H Auctions into private hands. This is where the unlucky part comes in. My uncle Phil passed away without ever knowing any of this, after which H&A Auctions sold my uncle's old car for £840,000.
100. You can buy many houses for that. And this is the same car that he sold for £5,000.
£5,000. It's a shame my uncle never got to see it like that or enjoy the profits, but it's such a cool car. It was such an awesome story. I hope you guys like it. Thank you, Rick.
Oh, Rick,
That's
mate.
mental. That's
You've
really
had
cool.
You've had a blinder there. I mean, it's a happy story and a sad story at the same time because Uncle Phil didn't get to see it ever get restored.
Did Rick get the money? It doesn't sound like you did.
No, H&H Auctions.
H&H did. Oh,
Well,
dear.
and the other owner.
It's a sad story. It's a sad story.
Missed out on 835 grand.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that, couldn't you? Imagine all the lube you could buy for that, Rory.
That'd last us a week.
That reminds me of the time when I did that. I did a film on Top Gear where I drove
don't say on
the
TV.
first when I was on TV that time. When on the world's biggest car show, Alex. You didn't get on. That
I think you'll actually find that is Wheeler Dealers.
he
It's
does
big-
say
it's
that. But
bigger.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's right. But I'm not gonna. He's
because Mike's left now.
He's left.
You're now Billy Big Bollocks, aren't you?
I was quiet before. But I drove the first new Jaguar F-Type from Coventry to the Geneva Motor Show to recreate Norman Jewis's iconic journey when he did the same thing. And I met Norman Jewis I drove it onto the stand and he was there. He was such a legend, that guy. And he was instrumental in the E-Type becoming what it was. So I kind of I feel the guy's pain, first of all, because that's a hell of a car.
Yeah,
One of the racing prototypes.
And talking about Norman, he did the story is
RIP.
that he drove from London to the Geneva Motor Show, wasn't it? He had to get there in double quick time, and
Yeah,
I mean you know the story way better than I do.
Coventry to Geneva. They had one there already, but they needed a second because people loved it at the show. They needed a second E-Type, so he had to drive through the night non-stop to get it there and get it on the show floor. And I tried to recreate the journey. And it's hard, man. It's possible to do it, but yeah, doing it like when back in the day when there's no like Red Bull.
Yeah.
or coffee.
Didn't he have an average speed of something like 150 or something?
Yeah,
or he got to 150,
It
something
was,
like that.
yeah,
Crazy,
he was,
wasn't
he
it?
was, yeah, he did well.
He was going.
He was
moving.
hanging about. And yeah, like you said, R.I.P. Norman.
Yeah.
Right, Ethan, you've got a bit of
I've got some.
car advice.
Actually, I don't have advice.
Oh.
Someone is asking for advice.
Oh, no, I stand corrected. Why is everyone looking at me, giving me daggers?
This is submitted by Jack.
Oh, Jack, are you
Again?
doing it again?
A lot of Jacks out there, aren't there?
Stop submitting things.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Who is asking, I am a 21-year-old student who's looking at getting a new car in the near future. I need an estate or something with a lot of boot space as I take my disabled mother to appointments and places she wants to visit. Therefore, I need boot space for her wheelchair. I was wondering if you could advise me on a fun estate car with plenty of space and isn't going to cost me loads of money to insure. They can either be new or old, but I do need something reliable as well. Thanks, Jack.
Oh,
What say you?
what we think? Well,
BMW 340i.
he's 21.
Oh, sorry. Okay, ignore
Bloody
that.
hell.
Sorry, mate.
We can't all be on TV money. I'm not bitter. Honestly, I'm not bitter. It's just like
you
bad.
don't sound bitter. You don't sound bitter at all.
Yeah, no. All right, let's give him a budget of £5,000.
I am going to go for a
2 streetcars glued together.
Oh,
I'm going to go for a Nissan Stagea.
and wow.
It's a good choice.
Yeah.
Solid.
Hello,
Solid.
Jack. You look.
Did I say
I'm a
that
bit
right?
shocked.
You
I
look
don't understand.
perturbed and confused.
Did I say that right? Is that how you say it?
Stagia, yeah.
Okay, Stagea.
You're all right.
Stagia.
It's,
That's-
it's like an
that's-
estate skyline, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
What's happened here?
What's going on?
Is someone under the table feeding you knowledge?
Someone's puppeting you.
Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about the Stagia.
Well,
for
it's got
people who
the
don't know.
RB26 DET engine in it. And
What the hell? God, something's happening.
Is this real?
There's a disturbance in the force.
I think it looks great. It's got plenty of space for the wheelchair. It's going to have a lot of fun in it. I think you can't beat that.
This has been a turning point. Rory, you are rubbing off on Ethan here.
I haven't rubbed anything on.
Stop rubbing me.
That is knowledge. Very good knowledge, but for a 21-year-old, and he wants something that's going to be reliable and not cost too much to insure.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay,
you missed that
okay.
bit.
Oh, yeah, I
The
missed
whole
that.
twin turbo thing and all that. I'm going to jump straight in and say Volvo V70R. And the reason I say that is because I'm currently banging around in a V70R for a video that we have half shot. And that
No
we yet.
spoilers. No spoilers.
I haven't said what it is. But the boot on the V70 is massive, and the 2.3 turbo, about 250 brake. It's good fun. I don't know about the insurance though. So it's something to look into. But it's a Volvo, so it can't be too insane.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Volvo's a bit. I was going to say pretty much the same thing because they're basically like touring cars as well, aren't they? So-
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
get one of them.
And 5 cylinders for the win, right?
Yeah.
Jack?
An Octavia estate, maybe not so much fun, but reliability is going to be there, isn't it? Just keep going and going and going.
Yeah. Are you thinking like a diesel?
Yeah, I'm thinking about diesel.
A DP diesel?
A DP.
Yeah.
Everyone loves a DP, right?
Right, Rory?
I'm all about the DP. DP for life.
So yeah, or you could get the VRS Octavia as well. That's a good chat. And the boots on those are massive, aren't they?
Insane, yeah.
Or a Superb estate. That's boring.
Nah, they're all right.
Really?
Yeah. Superb. It's in the name.
Oh, excellent. So there you go. Another Jack. You've got a few options there. I hope you like those. Let us know how you get on as well. We'll be interested to know what you got. Rory, I want to now move this on to a tweet that you put out. And this is a bit more serious now. You put out a tweet a few days ago, didn't you? And do you mind if I read it out?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Your tweet read, if a car company's employee racially discriminated against you 10 years ago and now the company want you to test their car, what do you do? Decline, review it as normal, hoping her views don't reflect theirs, or serve revenge cold with a very keen eye to their car's many flaws? Now, you're obviously not going to reveal who it was because obviously you don't want to do that because that would be silly. But take us back 10 years. What happened?
So I was working on a TV show called Gadget Geeks, and we had this, the same production company was working on a YouTube channel. It was funded by YouTube. So YouTube basically gave the channel $1 million to build content because they wanted YouTube to become like known for a little bit more than just cat videos. So they were giving trusted content producers a shed load of cash to create like, cool stuff. And we obviously creating a car channel, and one of my jobs was to review cars. And so I was reaching out to various manufacturers to get cars to do a couple of shoots. And I reached out to this one manufacturer in particular, and everything was like cool, really. It was all by the book. I said, can I have these 2 cars, please? They said, yeah, no problem. It's all done via email. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. Where do you need them? When do you need them? It was all like clockwork, perfect. And it was only after I sent my license to the person and she saw what I looked like that she's like the tone completely changed. And it was literally after she saw who I was.
Bloody hell.
And they started to introduce all these little hurdles that I had to jump over, which were total bullshit hurdles, things that like no one really asks for. One of them was, oh, we're not going to give you we're not going to insure the cars. And I spoke to someone else, and they did insure the cars. They were like, you have to pay for the insurance yourself. So I was like, fine, no problem. So I got the company to pay for the insurance, sorted that out. And then they kept introducing more and more reasons why they like shouldn't lend me the car anymore. Yeah. And in the end, I just challenged them. I said, what is the real like, I'm a journalist. I know how this works. Yeah. Why are you introducing more and more new things? And in the end, they just came out with it. It was like, we don't want to work with you.
So how did they phrase that? They said, we don't want to work with you, or we don't want to work with you because reason?
We don't want to work with you in particular because it was, I don't want to get into it, but no. it was because of they didn't want me to drive their car, basically. And it was, and that, as I said, it was a tough one because the conversation had flowed exactly as it should until they made a snap judgment about, oh, we don't want this guy in our cars, for reasons of, like, I don't know. Maybe I was ugly. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
It's not that you were ugly. You still are ugly. So how's that story now unfolded? Are you in contact again? Have you taken the car?
No, I haven't. I think I probably will. I got a lot of feedback about it on Twitter, and people said that I should just just treat it as a normal car, and I'll probably do that. It's the reason I've avoided. If you want to figure out who it was, it's a car I've never driven before on camera. I've never reviewed it, and the reason I've never pursued it, there's anything from this company, is because of that experience. And so if you see me in one of these that I've never been in before, you can probably work it out. But yeah, I just think I hope it was one person that was the problem and not the entire organization. I really hope that her views don't reflect the culture at the company, because if that's how if she spoke to someone and said, oh, and it became a problem that came from on high, or that was the general feeling within the organization at the time, then that would be really sad. But yeah, I hope that wasn't the case. But I know, but it happens. I'm not the only one this has happened to, and it's not this. Even though it's a very rare occurrence, this kind of situation has happened to me outside of the automotive industry as well. So it's definitely something that people of color have to kind of deal with and be aware of and try and overcome.
There was one thing that I wanted to bring up. Obviously, the car industry is, it's 99% white, middle class, slightly older. You are, you're middle class, but you're none of the other things, are you? So
I am kind of old as well.
Yeah, I was giving you benefit of the doubt there. So I just wanted to know what's it been like breaking into an industry where there are no people of color, really?
Yeah, I'd never thought about it, to be honest. You get used to like being the only like black face in a room, and you get used to little situations like if I would go and see a company and I would have like a junior member of staff with me, and I was like the superior in the room, we had like a business meeting, you'd get the people who you went to meet like addressing the junior because like they're white.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just maybe, I don't know what it is. Like they automatically kind of don't look at you and they focus on the person kind of who looks like them. And there's been a few moments like that in the auto industry, but generally speaking, it's not something that I think about too often, just because it's become the norm. I'd like to see more people of color and women like in the auto industry, and there's a few now. I think there's 3 black people in the industry now, and several women. So it's getting there. It just makes a nice break when you go on a car launch or something. Like everyone basically looks the same, so it's nice to have someone.
What
in the
are you
room
saying about white people? And just wanted to touch on something as well. Off camera, you were saying, well, you asked me, have I been stopped by the police? I said 3 times in my life, and then you had a very different story.
Yeah, it's well over 30, somewhere between 30 and 50, I would say. I used to get stopped by cops like on a regular basis, like weekly, sometimes multiple times a week.
And you're not doing anything.
No, not doing anything. I've never had points on my license. Not like literally, like just driving, and you get put. Even now, I see police behind me, and like I get flashbacks of what it was like. Driving in my Astra GTE 16 valve. And I used to think, it's because of the car I'm driving, but it wasn't. I had various cars. I had dozens of cars back then, and it was just all the same. Yeah. And when I speak to people, once my friends, and I ask them how many times they've been stopped by police, it's normally the same story, like once, twice, 3 times. And I'm like, a week? No, they're like, ever. Wow. So it is, it's a different experience that some people have, and I think it's nice to hear now that people are able to share their truth and tell their stories and say what their experiences are like, because ultimately that's the only way that things are going to get better and easier for people is if they're able to kind of show that their experience is not. We talk about privilege a lot. Like privilege is driving along, not being stopped by police, right?
Yeah.
And it's a simple thing that everybody should have.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it's good that it's all come out in the wash as of late. And yeah, hopefully more people just open their eyes a little bit, because, you know, we talk about race a lot, but ultimately there is only one race. There's a human race, isn't it? So everyone just needs to get along. And
there's Silverstone, British Grand Prix. Oh, you meant that? Okay, right.
Yeah. I was trying to be sensible here, and then you lowered the tone. There's no winning. Right, before we end the podcast, Rory, what have you got coming up?
I have got a load of content on Auto Trader. Auto Trader UK is our YouTube channel, so we've got some amazing stuff coming up. We've got the Lamborghini Huracan review. I don't know when this podcast is going out, but go check out the Huracan review. I've done this film that I'm really proud of. It's the Ferrari 812 Superfast, which we shot as like a lockdown special. It's like my first drive after lockdown, where I'm wearing like a Corona mask and gloves, and I get in this Ferrari, and it's quite poetic.
Yeah,
it's
the
quite,
opening to that is really great. Yeah.
It's it's just like
The rest of it, not so much. Oh, stinger.
burn. And after that, just out there testing cars, man.
Bikes and cars.
Auto Trader UK. I'm doing some stuff for Fully Charged as well. So
Yeah, how's that going?
it's all right. Yeah,
You like your EVs, don't you?
Yeah, I do. They're going to become the norm. They're going to become bigger than ICE cars, I think.
Yeah. What about synthetic fuels? Because I've been reading about that a little bit. Making fuel.
Yeah, out of peas. Not peas.
I thought we had an exclusive here. Peas are the answer. Everyone, fill your fuel tanks with peas.
Yeah, synthetic fuel would be interesting. I don't know if it'll take off. I think you need like I think wherever your fuel comes from, it has to come from like mining something where someone can make money out of it.
Mining peas.
And if you have synthetic fuel, where do the ingredients come from for that? I don't know.
Your veg patch.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, everyone's going to go crazy for allotments.
Yeah.
But no, EVs are going to be massive. There will come a time when EVs are cheaper to make than internal combustion engine cars. The battery density and the cheapness of batteries, there'll be a tipping point when suddenly people will go, petrols are a bit expensive, aren't they? Don't want to buy one of them. And that's going to be, I think, in the next 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
It's coming. Yeah. So EVs is something that I'm I want to keep on top of because, yeah, man,
You're banging the drum for EVs, aren't you?
not really. Just want to capitalize, get that EV money.
Future-proof
adopter.
yourself.
Excellent. That now concludes the Car Throttle podcast. Rory, thank you very much for
Thank you,
being
Alex.
on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Apologies for not beating you again in an arm wrestle.
Yeah, we're gonna do that one day.
Next
Then I
time.
can have my moment. All right. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to other people's stories, to Rory and us ranting on, and hopefully it's going to inspire you guys to email your tales, unpopular opinions, and anything that you guys want to get off your chest. Let us know by emailing carstories@carthrottle.com. As for us, you can find Rory on Instagram at Mr. Rory Reid, me, Auto Alex.
I'm Jack W. Joy.
I'm Ethan Smale. You can DM us all your stories, all your shit boxes you're getting rid of.
Yeah, more.
Send
of
loads to Rory because he'll want some.
Nothing over 105,000 miles, though.
And you can follow Car Throttle at Car Throttle, and also use the hashtag CT Podcast on Twitter. Send some stories there.
that. Very good. Rory, before we leave, do you have any final words for the audience?
I just want to say I've been in the game a long time, and everyone who has followed me throughout my journey, thank you so much. I'm not going to say anything funny. I just really appreciate all your support. So
You're welcome,
I hope you
Rory.
continue.
You're
And yeah,
welcome.
actually, you guys
Oh, wow.
have been really, really like supportive of everything that I've done. I know a lot of people would be like, like quite competitive and not try and get, go up against each other. But the fact that you have me on this is
That's the
massively
thing. Yeah, that's the thing
appreciated.
that I always think is just a bit weird. You've got different publishing houses. You belong to one, we belong to one, and there is always like a bit of, oh no, we're not going to do them a favor. It's like, come on, we're all in the same industry. Us working together is mutually beneficial. We're all friends. It's just like, why doesn't everyone just share the love? Because that's ultimately how we're all going to grow and get better. So yeah.
Look at him. He's acting acting like that now. But the only reason I'm here is for him to beat me in an arm wrestle.
He talks about driving you out to the middle of nowhere.
Oh shit! I thought we were going to edit that bit out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and listening. And yeah, stay safe. We will see you next time. Have a great week. Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Keep waving, Rory.
Sorry.